Welcome back. Marcus here again. In this lesson, we're talking about strengthening communication between managers and the C-suite, the bridge that keeps organizations aligned. Grab your notebook because you'll want to capture the prompts, activities, and reflections I'll be sharing. Bridging the leadership gap, one of the greatest challenges in any organization, is ensuring communication flows seamlessly between managers and executives. When messages bottleneck or misalign, misunderstandings and delays pile up. Strengthening communication isn't just about updates, it's about making sure insights, concerns, and strategies travel in ways that build trust and alignment. Creating feedback loops that flow across levels. Feedback has to move both upward and downward to work. Best practices. Clarify expectations. Define what kind of updates leadership actually needs. Streamline communication use. Consistent formats, like monthly reports or feedback templates. Create safe space. Make it normal to share openly without fear of punishment. Real-world tip. Many leadership consultants recommend regular pulse checks, where managers gather themes from their teams and present them upward. Notebook prompt. How does your team currently share feedback with leadership? What could make the process stronger? Interactive workshop. Bridging the gap. Here's a practical exercise to uncover communication gaps and co-create solutions. Step 1. Form mixed groups: managers, department heads, and executives. Step 2. Start with appreciation. Share one thing you value about the other group's role. Step 3. Managers share barriers they've faced when presenting ideas. Step 4. Executives explain what they need to make informed decisions. Step 5. Together, draft clear guidelines for communication impact statements, calls to action, concise summaries. Debrief questions. What assumptions were challenged? How can these guidelines be used day to day? Key takeaway. Understanding each other's pain points makes communication more empathetic and effective. Case study. Closing the retail gap. A national retail chain had disconnects between store managers and regional leadership. Policies weren't being implemented consistently, and both sides felt unheard. Action plan. Quarterly listening sessions. Standardized, simplified reports. Regional feedback champions. Bridging the gap. Results. Policy consistency improved by 30%. Manager satisfaction rose by 20%. Strategy meetings became more productive. Lesson. Structured channels and champions keep feedback flowing and build trust. The art of presenting data to leadership. Executives don't need every detail. They need clear, actionable insights. Strategies that work. Know your audience. What KPIs do they care about most? Frame the narrative. Tell the story. Challenge, intervention, outcome. Always include a call to action. Guide the decision. Example. Instead of saying, "Sales are up 12%, frame it as, "Sales rose 12% after targeted strategies." To sustain this, we recommend expanding to more markets. Notebook prompt. Think of your last report. How could you reframe it as a story with a clear outcome? Common communication challenges and fixes. Reports that are too long. Use executive summaries. Feedback gets lost in translation. Use visuals to make it digestible. No follow-up on feedback. Create accountability checkpoints. Key insight. Communication has to drive change, not just travel. Leadership stories that show the shift. Transparent transformation. A healthcare provider rebuilt trust through Q. A sessions and anonymous surveys. Trust scores rose by 25%. Data that drives action. A software finance team turned spreadsheets into stories with visuals, reducing decision-making timelines by 15%. Building manager C-suite trust. Trust is built when communication is transparent, feedback is acted on, and contributions are recognized. Notebook reflection. How can you create opportunities where managers and executives collaborate instead of just reporting up? Interactive exercise. The elevator pitch objective. Sharpen how managers present updates to executives. Identify one initiative or update. Condense it into a 60-second pitch. Present to a peer and get feedback on clarity and impact. Debrief. What changes made your message stronger? How can you apply this in your next leadership meeting? End of lesson summary. Communication between managers and executives strengthens trust and alignment. Feedback loops must flow both ways. Stories through data make reports actionable. Structured practices and workshops bridge gaps and strengthen collaboration. Notebook guiding prompt. What stories could your data tell to engage leadership more effectively? Strong communication builds collaboration, but resilience keeps teams thriving through challenges. In the next lesson, we'll explore how organizations can build collective resilience through intentional practices that foster trust, adaptability, and well-being.